Amelia, why didn't you tell me you lost your position with the council? Javier was displeased to learn she put her internship in jeopardy to take care of him. Amelia brushed it off. You nearly in an explosion. In the grand scheme of things, my exam, it seemed silly. And I'm pissed at them anyway for being unreasonable. Emergencies happen. How can they have such a strict no makeup policy? He looked her in the eye, serious. Let me get your position back. I'll talk to them about reinstating you. With all he had to worry about, Amelia didn't want Javier wasting efforts on her fights. Certainly, the Prince of Spain had better things to do than to help a nobody like her get her internship back. I appreciate the offer, but please don't bother yourself with it. I spent hours on the phone pleading with them, and they would not budge. Plus, if you call on my behalf, it will only make people suspicious of your connection to me. Why was this stubborn girl refusing his help? Don't be ridiculous. You missed out on your job opportunity to take care of me. I owe you that much. Amelia spoke her mind. Please, I didn't help you because I expected something in return. I don't like owing people favors. And I'm not used to offering them. It was true. The prince rarely doled out personal favors unless they served a political purpose. Seeing Amelia decline his offer both frustrated him and deepened his respect for her. I simply helped you out of duty to Max, as his mother. Don't think too much of it. Javier was taken aback. Everything you did this week was simply out of duty to Max? Nothing else? He narrowed his eyes as she responded. Because I care for him, I knew he'd be upset if you were unwell. Javier quirked a brow. And me? You what? She wasn't sure what he was asking. Do you care for me? The question hung in the air. Of course Amelia cared for Javier. Her feelings for him were a complex mix of resentment, admiration, and something more she dared not name because she had banned herself from entertaining any real feelings for him. Amelia finally answered him, avoiding his gaze. Like I said, I care that you're Max's father and appreciate your presence in his life. She spoke firmly, her voice steady despite the ache in her chest. The air around Javier grew chilly. So you just appreciate my presence in Max's life. Exactly. Look, I can see how things may have gotten muddy between us these past few days, but it was just that. Our son is the beautiful living proof of an impulse night we once shared in the past, but he is the only thing we share in the present. Javier's jaw tightened. Good. Glad to hear it, he said coolly. It's a relief to know you're not holding on to any muddiness between us. It saves me from unnecessary trouble when things are clear. Amelia's heart sank when his words confirmed what she had long told herself, that the prince would see any feelings she harbored for him as a burden. A sadness started to creep into her heart, and she quickly changed the subject. Are you hungry? Or you must be tired from standing. Let me help you back to bed. Javier coldly waved her away. No need, I can do it. He turned his back on her and began to retreat. Amelia's words dispelled the warmth that had come to fill his chest these last few days. He suddenly felt empty. He thought they had formed a connection, but had clearly misread things, mistaking it for something real. He thought she finally moved past her resentments from his past sins and came to care for him, but it seems that was not the case. Just then, Javier turned back. I don't like owing favors either. Victor will see that you are compensated for the services you rendered this last week. With that, he walked away without regarding her further. She understood that he wanted to pay her for her services so he wouldn't feel indebted to her. This wall he often put up between them reminded Amelia of why she needed to preserve her own distance from him. The day that followed, Amelia continued to assist Javier during his recovery. She cooked for him and doled out his medications, but kept their interactions minimal and polite. The tenderness they had fostered seemed to evaporate, which she told herself was for the best. The next afternoon, Amelia entered Javier's room to deliver his next round of medication. She found him seated at a small desk wearing trousers, while his upper body was wrapped in bandages. He was finishing a video conference with trusted members of his staff and didn't acknowledge her presence as she stood beside him, out of the camera's view. Javier hung up and took the pills from her without comment. "May I change the bedsheets?" Amelia asked in a formal tone, and he only spared her one word. "No." Feeling unwanted, Amelia started to leave when Victor entered the room and stopped her. "Amelia, good, you're here," he told her briskly. "Your Highness, we can't postpone your media appearance any longer, so I've gathered the press for this afternoon to hear your statement on the bombing investigation." Victor handed Amelia a suit. "Miss Rivera, here is the attire that the prince will need to assist in changing into for the press conference." Both Amelia and Javier froze at this request, and Victor's brow furrowed. "Is something wrong?" Javier stood and sharply ordered, "Victor, you can help me dress." Victor was surprised. "Me? But is that a problem?" Javier questioned, raising an eyebrow. Victor instantly backed down. "You can leave, Amelia," Javier said coolly. But she hung back, sensing Victor's attempt to dress Javier might hit a snag. She grabbed a broom and pretended to keep busy tending to the floor in case she would be needed. Victor approached Javier cautiously with his button-up shirt. "All right, let's get this done." Victor's clumsy attempt at slipping Javier's shirt on resulted in him yanking Javier's arm too hard, causing the prince to aggravate a wound. He flinched. As they both struggled through Victor's attempt to clothe Javier, sweat began to bead on both their foreheads as the awkwardness stretched out. "Your Highness," Victor muttered, his frustration seeping through. "I speak 8 languages and am highly qualified in everything from international diplomacy to close-range combat. But I'm afraid I lack the grace to dress you without causing further injury." "You can go," Javier said impatiently, with his shirt half on him. Javier questioned how to finish the job himself when a slender hand gently grasped his sleeve. "Let me," Amelia said softly, her touch careful and deliberate. Javier hesitated but said nothing as Amelia guided him. "Just raise your arm a little bit," she instructed, her voice calm. "Yes, like that. Perfect. Now lower it slowly." With precision, she slipped the other shirt sleeve onto him, her movements smooth and efficient. Once it was on, she began buttoning it carefully, her fingers grazing the fabric as she worked her way up. Amelia grabbed the tie and stood on tiptoe to loop it around his neck. Javier looked at her with a scrutinizing gaze. "You've done this often?" Amelia raised a puzzled brow. "Tied men's ties," Javier said with an indifferent expression. Amelia smiled softly. "Max has been wearing a little tie for his riding lessons. I had to teach him, so I'm a pro now." In less than 5 pain-free minutes, Amelia had Javier dressed and ready to dazzle the press. Victor, who had watched her work in impressed silence, finally spoke. "Miss Rivera, you would make an excellent wife." Amelia shot him a bashful glare. "Just because you saw me tie a tie?" Victor chuckled. "I've seen you accomplish a lot more than that over this last week. You are a true companion." I happen to know some very eligible bachelors who would be honored to have someone like you." Amelia laughed softly. "I'll leave it to you to make the introductions then, Victor." Growing impatient, Javier suddenly snapped at them. "Victor, are we done here? Both of you can leave." Outside the room, Victor stopped Amelia. "Miss Rivera, the prince has made a speedy recovery, all thanks to you in your excellent care. As of today, you are free to return to the villa whenever you like. I'm sure Max misses you." Amelia smiled, already thinking of reuniting with Max. It felt as if she lived in this recovery home for a lifetime. With things strained between her and Javier, she was looking forward to going back to real life. Moments later, Javier left the recovery house for the first time in a week. He sat beside Victor as the car cruised toward the Spanish consulate. "Victor, why didn't you tell me Amelia lost her internship because of my recovery?" Javier asked. "It didn't seem relevant at the time, considering your critical condition," Victor replied matter-of-factly. Speak to whoever you need to at the Foreign Affairs office to remedy the situation. Make sure they give her a chance to make up the assessment." Victor nodded. "I understand. Consider it done." A brief silence passed before Victor added, "There's another matter I've been meaning to discuss with you. Paloma Sanz has been calling frequently to set up a follow-up date. She seems quite keen on pursuing a political marriage alliance with you." Javier grunted in response, flipping a page of the report. Victor spoke pragmatic. "If I may, I do think you should make her one of your primary focuses. An alliance with her would strengthen your position of power and achieve what your father has been pushing." Done with the conversation, Javier remained silent as he continued to pore over the report. Meanwhile, the charming Thomas entered the office of Pablo Flores, Spain's first deputy prime minister of finance, who also happened to be one of Javier's biggest political rivals. "Come in," said Pablo with his deep, authoritative voice. Thomas sauntered in, glancing around the lavish space. The walls were lined with leather-bound books, and a large TV screen dominated one side of the room, and was currently muted on a news channel. Pablo sat at his desk. "Well, this is a rare occasion," Pablo remarked, leaning back in his desk chair. "You don't usually drag yourself to, this temple of egos." Thomas got straight to the point. "Amelia Rivera. She missed an exam and lost her internship. I need her reinstated at the Council of Foreign Affairs." Pablo's brow furrowed. "That's not exactly my jurisdiction, Thomas." "You have connections," Thomas pressed. "And if you want me to win her over as badly as you claim, the brownie points I'll earn from this will help me achieve that." "Very well," Pablo said at last. "Just remember not to get attached to this woman and let your emotions cloud your judgment." Pablo paused, and a faint smirk tugged at his lips. "Keep your eyes on the prize, little brother." To find out what happens next, download the Pocket FM app in the next minute to get free access to all episodes of The Royal Accident for free.